Hey, and thanks for clicking on Hey, Melissa Crochets. I appreciate you coming back to watch my How Much Yarn in April video. I can't believe it's already May. Where did the time go? I have 3 markets this month, so April was pretty productive for me because time crunch. And, things had to get done. And of course I've been, crocheting since forever, all year, of course, but April was really productive. So I'm curious to see what the skein count's going to be because I haven't counted it at all in my head or looking at it. So you'll have to excuse my voice in this video. My husband and I shopped a craft show last weekend and I came home with a cold. And I know that's where we got it because Steve was, hanging back like in the aisles and taking things in from a distance because he's not really talkative. And I was chatting with my vendor friends and my local friends and giving people a hug, and I'm sure I got it from someone there, so oh well. I'm on the tail end of it now. This is the first day I feel better. Started with sore throat. I blamed seasonal allergies for a bit, and then, and then the actual cold set in. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's not allergies. So on the tail end, I am starting to feel better. I really hope I feel better tomorrow which is Friday. I hope I feel really good by Saturday because Saturday and Sunday I have a market. Both at the same location. It's just a 2-day market. So, yay. I'm hoping I feel better. I am feeling good today, so fingers crossed. So, here was April. As you can see, there's lots of stickers, which means that was Larry's Happy Moods. Something I should address, you may have noticed in the How Much Yarn in March video, I didn't do Larry's mood blanket. And I'm not going to do it again in this video. I'm going to wait until all these markets are done because that's just what I'm focused on right now. So I have been keeping these calendar sheets. I do have the one for March just right over here. So this is for April. As you can see, I have been keeping track of the full skein count and the partial skein count and, his moods and stuff. It was a really happy month for Larry. He only had a few a-hole days. So let's count those together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, he only had 3 a-hole days. He had a few snoozy days. These were mainly rainy days when he doesn't want to be outside because he hates the rain. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he had 4 snoozy days and 3 a-hole days. So the rest of his days were happy days. So that's great. It was a good month with Larry. I don't know. He was just happy. I think because we spent a lot of time outside because he finally started to warm up probably around the 14th-ish here in our area. And yeah, so we've been outside a lot more and he likes to eat things off the ground, so I've been training that out of him, but that's been difficult because he's very much a hoover. Like, he just sucks things up off the ground like that. So we're working on that. So a lot of the times, and he is learning because if he sees me catch something in his mouth, he goes up to the patio door and he knows he's going inside. Because the rule is that if I catch him with something in his mouth, then he has to go inside for the day. No more outdoor access because it's a privilege. And then he'll sit in front of the patio door while I'm outside and be all, please. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. But he's very smart. He is learning. There was one day last week where I came inside to use the bathroom and I go outside and then he's on the grass eating something and he sees me catch him. He spits it out and he runs up to the patio door and is like, fine. So he is learning that there is consequence. So we're getting there. And I had to do the same thing last summer. But I get it. Things are tempting for dogs as they're lowered to the ground. They can sniff a lot better down there. But last summer he ate so much outside that he started having bloody stool because of all the bird poo he was eating, the rabbit poo, etc. So, dogs. But it's nice to see that Larry had a great month, mood-wise. And, I knew it would be good because, every day I put a sticker on, I'm like, oh, good, another happy day. I really like these stickers. They are from the Happy Planner book I got at Home Sense, which is like TJ Maxx here in Canada. So it's a Happy Planner. These at Michael's are regularly like $24.99, and I got it for $7.99 a while ago. So they're all flowers. They're all really pretty. A lot of them don't fit on these calendar days. So the larger ones I've been trying to do at the end of the month and then on the weekends. But what I have been doing with the ones that really are not going to fit, I've been keeping them. And then our neighbor across the street is a school teacher. She teaches, I think, grade 3 or 4. So I'm just going to give her a bunch of those when I have enough built up. So, yay. It's nice to not have to toss those. I don't want to waste things. Even if she wasn't a teacher, of course, there's local schools around here I could give them to as well. So let's do my favorite part of the month and remove this sheet. It's so satisfying. there we go. Okay, May's really pretty. This is like a green leaf design. It looks like leaves anyways. It might be like a watercolor abstract, but either way, it's pretty. And I'm excited. So let's get into the rest of the video. Now presenting our April slideshow. I really like the colors I chose for this month. I like the purple background and then a nice floral, I don't know, thingy at the bottom, a floral bouquet, if you will. So try to make them all matchy-matchy and super cute, which I always have loved doing, if you haven't noticed. Okay, first we're going to do the cardigans that I finished, and I did 3 this month. Well, last month, I guess. So the first one was using Bernat Blanket Patchwork. That's a newer yarn, and it's really nice. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it. I think I've tried about 5 of the 7 colors that were released. That took 5 skeins. Usually it takes around 4, maybe 4.5, but I did like really big puffy sleeves and like a little bit, like a few decreases for the cuffs. But what I found at my market in the winter, everybody wanted open sleeves and like to be flowy and like super comfy, nothing like with tight wrists. Like that was people's preference. So I'm trying to do most of my cardigans that way. So that was 5 skeins total. And then the next one was a hexagon cardigan, and I really wanted to pair the Red Heart Biddy stripes with some black, and the pink lemonade, that colorful yarn there, was just perfect for it. And I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the way it's striped, and just it looks so beautiful, even more beautiful in person. So that was 3.5 skeins in total, 2 of the black Bernat Super Value, which is another worsted weight acrylic. And then the third cardigan I made is also very pretty. I'm having a hard time choosing between the 3 of them, which I love the most, but they're all pretty. So this is Bernat Blanket Ombre in the navy shade. So I started with the darker shade at the bottom there and then worked my way up. And then once I ran out of that skein, I started from the inside of the next skein. So like, I did from dark to light and then light to dark, if you will. And it turned out great. I really love the way it works. And then I also made sure the sleeves, because I wanted to do some color on the sleeves, but close to the cuffs, so they would be dark like the bottom of that cardigan stripe. So it turned out really nice, and I really like it. This one I believe I made in standard size. I don't believe it's plus. I would be tempted to keep it for myself if it was, but that's okay. I have enough clothing. My swimsuit cover-ups that I made for my market in May, I'm going to do a separate video clip for that. You'll see that in just a few. And there were 7 in total that I finished, so yay, good for me. My amigurumi makes. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things here just because I went through my spreadsheet of my inventory that I showed you last week, and I don't put them by date that I completed them. Maybe I should, but it's just not the way it's going to work for me. So I didn't do it by date. I tried to go off some photos on my phone, but I don't keep a lot of photos after I take them. I just, use them for the purpose and then I delete them because I hate having things on my phone. I'm somebody who likes to have my albums and my phone's under 400. Some of my friends have like 12,000. I'm like, oh my, I could never. So I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things, but it's fine. It's fine. Everybody's fine. Okay, so I made 10 sea turtles in total. That might be, no, I don't think I'm wrong there. I'm pretty sure it's 8 sea turtles. So 8 sea turtles, 12 fidget worms. That was the one with the hair curler in the middle that you get from the dollar store, like the foam hair curlers. And then I made 6 baby Della ducks because they've been selling really well at markets. I wanted to make more. And they're easy to batch crochet, which was nice. And then I made a big arse possum. Only one of those. I want to make more, but I just haven't got there yet. I made 5 jellyfish because they've been selling well at markets for me as well. And then I made some rubber ducks because they're simple, easy, and it was just nice to get 6 done in one afternoon. So that's that page. On the next page, my possums and my turtles. You would have seen that last week as well because I did like a week of crocheting last week that I did the video for. So possums and turtles, 10 of each. And then axolotls, I made 6 of them. And then I did 5 bees because somebody asked me for them at my last market. I didn't plan on making any because I don't want to make things that everybody else is making. I like to be unique, but people are asking for them, might as well make a few. So I made 5 in total. And then I made 6 dinosaurs, all different patterns. There were 2 that were the pattern that you see there with the big chubby belly. And then I had If you watched my video last week, I had said I really wanted to find a dinosaur pattern that I really loved and was fast and like a good market make. I haven't found one yet. I did buy one. I just haven't done it yet. I do plan on doing one today to see how it goes. So 6 dinosaurs and then 1 big yellow ducky. So that was, a good try because, like as I said, I want to find the dinosaur pattern that I like. So still working on that. And I guess the bucket hats aren't really amigurumi, but I made 18 of them total. And then I did 10 belts for my swim cover-ups. You'll see more about that in a sec. I made 30 bag charms from that stupid Premier Just Chenille yarn. If you watched my video last week, you know my thoughts on that. And then I made 1 big fat cat, and that was from Bernat Blanket Extra. Not extra thick, but just Bernat Blanket Extra. So like the medium-sized blanket yarn. And I took up 1 full skein of silver steel, and then I did a belly patch with cream because I knew there wouldn't be enough. As I was, working on it, I was like, oh, no, it's getting low, but I made it work. So good for me. Okay, and that's everything that I had finished that I can remember anyway. So I put 10 skeins / pieces into charity beanies. I didn't do any cowls this month, but it was just nice to have something for the car that was, fast. And then I forgot to take out, almost kept track of this, but I did keep track of it. I'm proud of myself for that. So just putting that out there. There was 43 full skeins used. A lot of it was Bernat Maker for the swimsuit cover-ups I'm working on. And then 16 partial skeins, which was mainly for amigurumi. And that equals out to 59 skeins. And, when I was recording the clip that you're going to see in a few seconds here about the swimsuit cover-ups, I was like, okay, I've got a lot. I went through a lot of yarn this month, and I thought this would be not as much as January, but more than March. But it's not more than March, but that's okay because I was using up the Bernat Maker, and like it's not a super thin yarn. I'd say it's like a worsted 4 weight, but there's not a lot of yardage in it. So it felt like I was using a lot of skeins, and that number would be a lot higher, but it's okay that it wasn't. So remember last month I talked about a few life things, so I just wanted to pop those on here as well. So for Easter we did Easter egg hunt with my nephews and my niece over at my in-laws' place, and my in-laws had done like an Easter egg hunt, and I gave them the idea of everybody gets a different color for their Easter egg, so there's no fighting. One kid doesn't pick 30 and the other kid gets 5, for example. So that worked out well. And then I also took some white eggs that I got at the dollar store, and I wrote each of their names on them, besides the baby, because he can't head for them yet. And so I had to find their name eggs. And then whoever was the first, they got to pick out of my $5 plushie items that I had left over from my last market, and then so on and so forth. So there's 4 of them hunting these eggs, and they got to pick, which was great. Unfortunately, my niece was last to pick, so I was a little worried that she wouldn't get what she wanted, but she ended up getting what she wanted because the boys didn't pick anything pink, and there was a few pink items in there that she really wanted, so that worked out great. You would have seen already that I did 1 market day. 27 items had sold. If you're curious about the white eggs, let me go back to that for just a sec. It was a lot of fun because my in-laws are on a farm, and there's a lot of good hiding spaces around there for these white eggs that I had purchased. And they were a good size egg. They're probably like the size of my hand. So they were a good size, but I really wanted to make it tough for my 2 older nephews because they're smart cookies. And I knew they would go for those first because there was a prize involved. It wasn't just candy, from the in-laws. So I went, behind the drive shed, and I dug a hole in the ground for one of them. And then he was the one who found his own egg. He was like, wait a minute, that looks a little off right there. So he found it first. Then the other nephew, there's 3 evergreen trees back there. And I put one of the eggs at his eyesight level, but inside of the tree. So like he really had to look for it. I mean, it was a white egg in a green tree. I think he should have seen it, but he didn't. And then, he was, give me more hints. Can I have more hints? Can I have more hints? I'm like, no. But I had told Steve, my husband, where they were. So he, guided them back over there just to see if he could find it. And he did find it eventually. So that was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed that aspect of it, so it was cool. And my mother-in-law was like, well, save the eggs so you can do it again next year. I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll do that again next year. It was a lot of fun. Here's some life things from Larry's perspective. I got this cute photo of him while I was working on a bucket hat. And it looks so cute because it looks like he's smelling the Bernat Maker yarn. So I put that on there. And then, as I said earlier, we were spending lots of time outside this past month, and he hears Steve come in the driveway, so he sits there and he waits for him, and it's so cute. Of course, I'm happy to play with Larry in the backyard, but apparently Steve plays better, and he's always waiting for Steve to come play with him. But that's okay. He enjoys playing with Steve, and it's fun to see them, interacting and playing together. And that takes us to the end of the slideshow. As I mentioned previously, it's a rainy day, so I know the lighting is really bad, but there's nothing I can do about it. And the lights I have in here, the light bulbs, are the daytime ones, so it's as good as it's gonna get. So you can see that the first column in my cube shelves is getting empty. I have been working hard on the swimsuit cover-ups for my market at the end of this month, the end of May. So I'm going to show you those instead of putting them on my slideshow, because there were so many I did that I'm not going to take pictures of them and put them on a slideshow just because I don't want to. So first one I finished this month. Well, I don't know if it was the first one, but here's the first one I'm showing you. This is the color Peach. And it is quite nice. I really like this color. I had tried it on after I finished it. My husband was like, "You should keep that for yourself. It looks so good." And I was like, if it doesn't sell, I might keep it for myself, but I want it to sell. Next up we have Sky Blue. This one I did without sleeves. Some I put sleeves on, some I didn't, some I put trim on, some I didn't. Just depends on what yarn I had left at that point, and I wanted to do a few different designs. And then since I made the front panel here pretty wide, it does slink off the shoulder a bit, so it looks like a sleeve. So here's the second one. And then I didn't have enough of those two colors to make two more, so I paired them together, and I really like these colors together. They look better once I set them on the hanger properly, but I can't be bothered. So they do line up. So this one I just finished the other day, and I do like this color together. So Sky Blue and Peach. I couldn't do it with every single color. I wanted to do a plus size and a standard size for all of these, but I only had so much of this yarn. And I wasn't going to order more just to make an extra one, because these are going to be the higher price items at that market that I'm designing these for. So I didn't want to order more yarn just to have some that didn't sell. So I'd rather take that excess yarn. So one of the cubes down here you can't see right now, I have one skein or half a skein of something. So I'll be using those for bucket hats or scrunchies. Here's the next one. This is that really pretty hyacinth color that you would have seen in the yarn haul. I can't remember what video it was in. I think it was how much yarn in maybe February, maybe March. I don't remember. I think February. And it's such a nice color. I really like the way it turns out. And so this is the standard size one. So you can kind of see a bit of how the sleeve puffs out there. Hard to tell on a hanger. And this is a standard size one, so I can't try it on for you and show you. So that's that one. And these are pretty quick for me to make. If I dedicate my whole day to it, I can get one done in a day. But of course it takes a few hours. And then if I have half a day and then 2 hours the next day, then I can get it done. So these probably take about 6 hours in total for me. This one is gray. I always want to call it Cloud because I think it should be a nice color name, but it's not. So this is gray. I don't think I have this marked down on my spreadsheet. I don't. I'm looking at it right now. And I was like, I thought I did a plus size gray one, which is this. But I have it blocked out on my spreadsheet as you don't have enough yarn to do that one, so don't bother. So yay, I do. I guess forgot to mark it on my spreadsheet. So happy dance. Next up is this very boring cream color. I think it's nice because it'll match a lot of things, and it's very beachy to me. So this is just standard size. If you're curious about the stitch I'm doing, I'm doing a V stitch, and some of them I did within the V, some of them I did in the space. So most of them I did in the space because I like that look better, and I'm using treble crochet and a size, some are size 12mm hook and some are size 10. Just depends what I have next to me on the couch. So I do like this one. I mean, a lot of people will like it, I think, because it's plain Jane, it's boring, it's neutral. That's what people ask me for. And it drives me nuts because, you know, I hate neutrals, but it's nice to have that option too. I thought about ordering more of this color for that reason, because I know it'll be popular, but no, I'm not ordering anymore. I am making good progress on these clearly, so. And then this next one is that teal color. This was my favorite of the Maker yarn. That and the hyacinth. I think they'd be really cute together, but I don't have enough to pair them like together on another cover up, so they're gonna remain solid separately. And I do love this color. It's quite nice. It's like a, like they call it teal, but to me it's like an emerald teal, like it's a really dark teal, and it's cute. I put sleeves on this one, and then I didn't do any trim on this one, but that's okay. So super cute. I really love the way these turned out. And then previous to this, I did just double check, and I had 6 of them finished before the month of April. So I have 3 in February and then 3 in March. I wanted to do different designs instead of like all the same designs. So you see they're all the same, but my brain is just, no. It was like, no, you're gonna stick to the same one, because I did do a few that were different design, and then I kept messing up and going back to this stitch. So I was like, you know what, to make it easier and more cohesive for the market and stuff, when they're all lined up on my clothing rack, I wanted them to be the same. So it worked out that way in the end. And then if I ever do use this yarn again for another cardigan, it'll be great. And I'll do a different design. So I really like it. Something else that I have been making to go along with them, which you have heard me talk about in the past, is bucket hats. And you may have heard me say in the past that I really don't like bucket hats. I think they need to stay in the 90s. I still think that. But honestly, making them, it's only taking me about half an hour each, and it's been going good. You'll see in my slideshow that, or maybe I don't know where I'm going to put this clip and then the slideshow, so you may have already seen it, but I've done quite a few this month, so yay. I think 18 in total, because today's my first, so I can't count the one I did this morning. So that's okay. And then another thing to go with it are the belts. So for illustrative purposes, I did a different color so you can see it. So I put teal, like that's the teal, you wouldn't be able to see it. I still had to weave in the ends on the bucket hats, clearly, and the belts and stuff, but I'll get there. I just want to, you know, batch crochet them and keep my brain on track, because it just works better for me. So, and that's another nice thing about this open V stitch and the treble crochets. So the belts, you can just weave through the sides here, and it's going to turn out great. And then on my market, I do plan on saying, you know, like mix and match. They don't have to get a teal and a teal belt. They could get like a peach cardigan with a hyacinth belt if they wanted to, because I am doing 2 or 3 belts of each color. Same with the bucket hats. Usually, I think more bucket hats than belts, just because I think they're going to sell pretty well. And yeah, so that's how I wanted to do it. And the belts, honestly, have been really easy. I was going to do a fancier design, but to keep it simple for my brain, I have just been doing foundation double crochet rows. So just 1 row of foundation double crochets. And then of course the plus size ones are longer than the standard size, but that's the way I've been wanting to work them. So yay, it's been working out great. Someone's finally awake from his afternoon nap, so he wanted to say hi. Hi. He's having a hard time snoozing today because it's been thundering, and then he's staring at me like, stop. But I'm not the one who creates the thunder. So now we're playing ball, and we're gonna do this outro. So thanks for watching this video. I hope I could inspire you to, you know, crochet something that maybe you hadn't seen the pattern for yet, or maybe design something of your own, maybe get a dog or another one. Old English sheepdogs are the best. Favorite breed, right? So again, thanks for watching my video. It's a bit of a shorter one, but maybe that's a good thing, because they usually turn out pretty long. I will see you next Sunday for a market recap, because I have that 2-day market this weekend. So, and then I'll do a recap after, and you'll see it next Sunday. So hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, like my video. I'd really appreciate it. My channel is growing, so that's nice. I think I'm close. I'm over 300 subscribers. I might be close to 350 now, so that's really cool. It's fun to see that number grow every week. So, and then see, you know, the analytics of what people like and what people don't like. A lot of people like the market recaps, so next week. And a lot of people do like these how much yarn in 1 month videos, so I love watching those too. I love watching a lot of type of crochet videos, so thanks for watching. I appreciate you. So does the world. And please remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, and the world appreciates having you here.